Warning. In this podcast, you'll find things in adult nature, including but not limited to coke, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, firearms, cursing, and other racial slurs. Such an adult theme references describes you, then please kick rocks with open toe shoes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard about it, read about it. But have you ever seen a psychedelic circus?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's all four of us. Special guest, Ford
and Jock Mehoff.
4 or 5 stems.
33% of the time, lots of stuff.
All right, and welcome back to Dual Thought. As always, we've got your hosts,
TR
and JJ, and we've also got special guest, Ford.
Hello there, I'm Ford.
And
Jock Mehoff.
And we've also got Jock Mehoff. We're going to be calling him Mehoff. All right.
Sorry. That opening, number one, perfect. And the additive, it just worked out so I'm still laughing.
Right? Well, if you haven't guessed already, the intro kind of leads into what we're going to be doing. And today's psychedelics.
Drugs.
Mushrooms. LSD.
Acid.
DMT.
It's technically tonight, but depending on perspective, it could be daytime for you too, so who cares? That's part of psychedelic experiences I've come to find, so yeah.
Alright, so before we start, we gotta put it out there. Have you done psychedelics? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Alright. That's all four of us.
Alright.
Alright, so
what kind of psychedelics are you in fact talking about though? Like,
any psychedelics. I'm just stating, have you had a psychedelic?
Well, let's list them off.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are many that can fall into that category.
All right. Personally, shrooms.
Shrooms, acid. Yeah, shrooms, marijuana.
Marijuana is not a psychedelic, though.
It does have psychedelic properties, though.
Not necessarily. It's more of a body high than anything.
I don't think I count marijuana as a hallucinogenic.
No.
And yes, gentlemen.
And people
normally
going
I'd
to the
agree.
hospital on fucking marijuana, that's a fucking joke. You're just a fucking lightweight and you need to fucking take your ass somewhere else because obviously marijuana is not for you. It's not meant to be.
I would agree completely.
Exactly. Yes.
But I do believe Ford does have an incident where it was psychedelic.
Well, yeah, like sativa.
I do.
Not sativa. Salvia. Salvia is like a low grade of pretty much marijuana if you think about it, because also it gives you that body high before it makes you hallucinate, and it gives you like a 2 to 3 second hallucinate depending on the time, the quantity or the potency of the salvia. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Because it's green and it's more of a potpourri. It's like spice, pretty much. Salvia is more of a spice.
Well,
spice fucked me up once.
Well, let's jump over here to Ford.
Yeah, well, going back, like, of course, this has been quite a few years ago, just to give backstory on that. I had to do research for a health class for in the high school, and my group got marijuana. And did come to find out that, surprisingly, they have found that it has psychedelic properties, some suppressant and some not suppressant, but depressant qualities. Sorry, Jacques Mehoff here is just like letting his gaseous byproducts happen here and letting the beer get to him.
Some good burps, man. I haven't had a good beer in a while.
That was awesome.
I was awesome. They would definitely be in the like 6.5 to 8.5 rating
on the Richter scale, yeah.
On the 1 to 10 scale.
I can see it on the.
That would make it feel better.
You have high ratings for these burps, sir. So
You got high applause.
A lot of
high
practice.
applause.
All right, real quick. Let's round it up real quick.
Yeah.
Go back down to topic.
Yeah. But anyway,
Anyways, Ford.
no, yeah, it just more. It has stimulant properties and depressant properties. It's kind of hard to classify marijuana into a certain category of what type of drug, if you were to say that it is one.
I've got a classification for it.
Medicine, a plant. It's just
Medical.
It's medical.
Medical.
It's
Medical.
natural, medical. There you go. It is.
It's classified as
Yeah,
medical.
yeah.
Fuck it.
And
Yeah,
recreational.
there's so many properties to it. But anyway,
Well,
I do
then
remember.
again,
Yeah.
wasn't LCD classified as medical at one point?
You mean LSD?
Yes, it
I mean,
was back in the
That's what I
1800s.
guess.
I
Back
mean,
in the
you left
1800s.
the
It was
C
created
off
for
there,
medical
but I almost thought you were going for LCDC. Wasn't that a drug or something?
Wrong place.
No, wrong place indeed. But anyway, I remember the first time that I remember thinking, oh, I was so high, was I actually started seeing Tetris and playing it, like, as I was going, and I started laughing. My friends were like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm playing Tetris over here. And they're like, what the hell? And from there, I started seeing, like, shapes, the basic shapes, like square, triangle, circle, X and stuff, like kind of like PlayStation controls. When they were talking, I'm
Real
like
quick.
associating their words
quick.
with these shapes.
Who
There
was
you
the
go.
motherfucker? It wasn't Grandma's Boy. What was the movie that had the black comedian? It was all about high. The friend got locked in jail and they had to sell Smiley weed.
Oh,
Oh, how high?
no.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, that was Half Baked.
Half baked.
But it was Mr. Nice Guy, not Smiley.
He said he said the black guy. It got me confused for a second.
Dave
So,
Chappelle.
wait. In
Well,
that
how
movie,
high had the other two?
Oh yeah, it had Method Man and Red Man.
Yeah.
And they were going to Harvard and smoke their friends' ashes.
That was
in
also
the
a pretty
plant.
good
Yeah,
movie.
That was
But
also a good.
going
story
back to
movie.
the other one, I already forgot his name.
Half
Half
baked.
Baked.
Half Baked. I'm stoned and drunk and I don't give a shit anymore. So, but Half Baked. You sound like the dude that was like, have you ever seen this movie? Have you ever seen this movie?
so
Hi.
you're-
On weed?
Oh, dude.
Um,
Actually, I take great respect for that because Jon Stewart, I love that guy, and he has a bit, he talks about his roles in movies. He's just like, well, as you can tell, I've only had a couple roles in movies, and it's a smart decision on their part because I'm no good in them, really. Or I don't know if he actually said that, but that's what I may have remembered. I don't know. I was pretty high when I saw it, so it was just funny to me. And I'm like, I like
Like how
Jon
I
Stewart
watched
for
Ted.
that,
High as shit.
Yeah. How I've watched
Triple
many
balls.
movies in my life.
How I watched
High as shit.
Yeah.
Colbert
High as
Report.
shit.
High as shit.
Movies are great when you're high as shit.
So is Colbert Report
And if
and Jon Stewart show.
But I find that the better ones will stick with you more so even if you're high as shit. The worst ones will be all like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm high as shit. I just
think
know it was
On the
this.
worst ones, when you're high as shit and you're watching a bad, horrible movie, you just completely blank out that time.
Basically.
But you don't care. You're like, I remember I was high as shit. And that's all. It was great because I was high as shit. Don't remember the movie, but I was high as shit.
I was high as shit, having a great time, and I was watching a movie, but it didn't stick in the memory, so it wasn't good.
Don't see it. I was high as shit. Don't remember it. Don't see it. That's my movie rating system. But yeah. That was one of mine. But of course.
Anyways,
There we
since
go.
our
Yeah.
host is busy here,
Yes, our host is busy. Sorry for that. We kind of went on to a bit of technical difficulties. I wasn't sure. He kind of took the route that, I could have stood up for
I
him,
believe that's
JJ.
what they all say when it's technical difficulty. It's somebody had to piss.
Somebody had to piss, or like, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in those stations?
So, anyways, I guess I will assume host for the moment until he gets back. Meoff.
Yeah.
Let's hear
Mehoff,
huh?
Isn't it Mehoff, not Mehoff?
Mehoff.
Mehoff?
The American way of saying it.
Okay.
Meoff.
I was not. I thought that was the American way of saying it. My bad.
H is silent.
The H is silent. Is there two H's in there, or
No, it's just a Mehoff. M-E-H. No, M-E-O-H-F-F.
It's been Maha. TR just can't say it right. Caught myself.
Slaying the
Good
words,
job,
we're
buddy.
just getting a little bit tipsy over here.
language?
Anyways, all right. Let's hear a psychedelic trip story from you.
Well, it was a couple years ago, and I was at a party and took about 7 hits on a sugar cube. And
Wait, what? 7 cubes?
no,
7?
7 hits on a sugar cube.
I've never heard
7
of that.
hits.
What is that?
7 drops of
Acid.
liquid acid
Okay.
on a sugar cube.
I've never heard of it, so I had to say.
And it was pretty good times. But the worst one, I have to say, was over at my buddy TR's house. Had 7 Irish car bombs and an eighth of shrooms. And I was playing beer pong, and I went downstairs to the basement, and he had all these black light posters covering every inch of the walls. And I go to look around because my body started getting heavy. You know, like real heavy, like. But then I started looking around the room, and all the pictures in the whole hallway and into the living room of where I was playing beer pong was all moving. All moving at one fucking time. It was awesome.
Is this your best trip
Yes.
or your first trip?
My very first fucking good trip.
Alright.
I've had a bad trip before. The bad trip was...
You had a bad trip before the good trip?
Yes. I had the bad trip.
What made you continue?
I don't know. Johnny just handed it.
The barn dog will make you continue.
The what?
The barn dog, man.
What the hell is the barn dog?
Johnny Barner.
Oh.
My boy. That's my boy.
Oh, hell yeah. That's my brother right there.
I haven't heard that nickname around
Fucking-
here, okay?
Honestly, when I
TR
I
and
haven't-
fucking
Okay.
Johnny B, man.
Yeah. I
14,
knew that.
15 years of friendship right here.
Shit, more than that. I've known you since you were a wee little boy.
I don't remember that. The only thing I remember is all of us
How long
hanging
have
out.
you known Johnny B for?
Same, pretty much.
Me and him met when we were in 4th grade.
Who'd you met first?
Johnny B.
Okay,
And then
so
I met him.
you should know Johnny B through him, yeah?
No, I met Johnny B through Ty.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So you met Johnny B through Ty?
yeah.
And how long have you guys been together?
I don't know who this fucking Thai guy is.
TR. My bad.
Shit! I didn't even realize I was saying it wrong.
Both y'all did. Anyway, what was the question?
How long have you known Johnny B for?
Like I said, since like 4th grade.
And I've known this guy since 93, 94.
92, 93, around there.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish I would have met you guys sooner. Man, I wish I would have grown up in the north instead of the south of this state.
He grew up in the ding 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 ding.
I grew up in
Yes,
the
you
redneck.
got pretty mouth.
I grew up in the redneck part of this state. Yes, without a doubt. I grew up in the redneck part.
I was kind of more in the closer to the center for the first like 10 years. So people always
What
ask
do you
me,
count center? I count center as Denver.
Denver? Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I was only like, I don't
A
know,
little history of LSD.
30 miles from Denver?
North or south of Denver?
North. So, I mean, it was more
You were in the
northern,
north?
Yeah, I was in the northern part, yes, but I was more central. But people always sit there
Northern
after
central.
after moving up. They're like,
Sorry, I got
"Are
a
you?"
stomach
They're
gas.
like, "Are you from the south or something?" I'm like, "No," and I'm like, "I'm from Colorado," and they're like, "Where?" And I'm like, I tell them where, and I'm not going to name the place, but then it's just
Why not? It's just a place.
yeah, it's just a place. Well, Johnstown. That's where
Cool,
a
so-
mile south of there, and I was
Sexy ladies out there, you better just remember this name.
yes.
So basically, we're just.
Wait, no. Before we move on, sorry, remember that, but sorry, we forgot to. I figure we forgot to announce that a quick PSA from Mehoff, and remember any sexy ladies out there, remember the name Mehoff. Back to
Always
the show.
remember the name Mehoff.
Always
Well,
remember
oh,
the
yeah.
name Mehoff.
Mehoff is just awesome. Awesomeness in a name.
Yes.
Here's a way you can phrase it. Mahoff will get you off.
Yes.
But no, sorry.
Yes.
Yes, but yes, a mile south of
Jock
Johnstown
Mehoff
is where
We'll get you off.
Sounds like an attorney.
Right?
Like a strong arm.
High five for that.
Obviously, on this episode of Dual Thought, we're a little bit more relaxed.
And tipsy.
Well, yeah.
Well, at least JJ
Some of
is.
us.
JJ is tipsy. He didn't realize this was dual thought. He thought we were doing drug thought.
I mean, ladies. So the guys
And
out there
apparently
know,
he refers to
know
himself
I'm a
as a
straight
third person.
motherfucker.
All right.
Alright, well, basically we
Back
were on
on topic.
stories. We were on stories.
No gayness was coming out of that.
So, that was your best story. Let's move to Ford here's best story. I got the name right.
Oh, goddamn kids.
I don't know. Honestly, it's
He called the
There's-
sheriff's hoop again.
so. I would have to say the most. I haven't had a negative experience with psychedelics. All I've really done is mushrooms, and that's about it. But every one I've taken something more away from it, and it's nice. Like I'd have to say the first couple of times I've only done enough for like that 5 or 6 hour body high, which was nice. I did experience a little bit of visuals, but more that like giggly. But probably one of my favorite ones was actually recently we went on this camping trip with friends, like for a buddy's birthday, and
Hell yeah, I remember that.
and it was fun because I went up one night and did a bit with them. There were 3 of us, and we just had a great time. And I just remember just great. I remember one of the best things was talking about the difference between irony and coincidence at one point, and
I think you had a
yeah.
stump in that as well.
yes, the stump there. It was great
Your
because
favorite stump?
I remember that stump. No other stump will ever be the same, but I remember that one. I can go back up to and remember the great time, like because I just would stand there and I remember.
And T. Ames passed you, didn't he?
Yeah,
Did
no,
you hear that?
yeah, Mr.
G. Ames.
G. Ames,
James.
Mr. G. Ames.
Until he changed it, it's G. Ames.
So
James.
it was, I guess, like that was probably one of the biggest things I took away from it was too, where I was standing on the stump and G. Ames came out of the fucking forest and he's just like, "Excuse
Talking
me,
about
sir."
fairies and shit.
He's like, "May I pass?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir, you may pass." I'm like, but to be honest, I'm not really the one to, be able to tell you whether you can pass or not. Like, I'm just kind of standing
Like
here.
rolling under the bridge.
I'm observing. I'm watching, and he's like, "Oh, well, enjoy your stand." And then I was just like, I shall enjoy my stand. And from that, I'm just like, I remember, because I'm just like, I don't really want to be. There are times where I'm sitting there and I'm like, yes, I would like to have that kind of, notoriety of sorts, or like that, a little bit of fame or recognition. But then again, I'm like, I am just kind of an observer. Like, I like to watch everything as it goes by and just see how the fuck
The fly on the wall
happens.
syndrome.
yeah, and I'm just like, that's why it also is prevalent when I think about the apocalypse or the end of the earth, because I'm like, all I really hope is that it may start somewhere else in the world, not because I hate other parts of the world,
But so that you can witness it.
Yeah, so that I can witness at least a part of it and be all like, well, when the fuck is this coming to me? I want to figure out how long I have.
I think that's why we all appreciate an apocalypse.
But that's probably one of the few reasons I appreciate the media too, because every station's going to be all over that. Even Nickelodeon's going to start airing a newscast like, sorry, Nickelodeon's not there. Parents, get your children out of here. We're dead. We're all dead.
The media is just fucking evil and controlled by corporate. I fucking hate the media. But, yes, they would be the absolute first going, zombies are attacking!
Well, cool.
At least I got to witness it.
Yeah.
At least I wasn't the first victim.
But I have other things too. But
that's why I was talking about the zombie pranks the other night. Because shit, I would have crapped my pants and started running the other way. Screw that. I don't want to be the first one dead by this shit. I want to say that I at least survived a day or so. I want to say that I got to see the zombies go attack someone.
But how would you be able to tell anybody about it if you saw it for a day or two and then all of a sudden you died? So how are you going to tell your story? Who's going to hear your story if you're already a fucking zombie? You see what I'm saying?
I think I'd leave a diary somewhere in hopes that somebody got it.
But eventually everybody's going to turn into a zombie, and then it's just going to be a world full of zombies.
Well, unless we go the whole, killing zombies effect.
Or leave the planet effect. The richest of the rich will probably fucking take off this planet.
That's already planned.
It's already planned because they already got an aircraft. Virgin just made an aircraft for over about 5 years ago. You pay $2 million, you can go to outer space and take a tour.
Fuck yeah, I want to do that.
For $2 million, you can go to outer space and take a tour.
I think
let's go ahead and win the lottery, and let's go take a tour.
I'm down. Fucking, I'm down. As long as we can make it so our destination isn't.
What would get to me would be like Limitless, the movie Limitless.
Oh, the one with the pill?
No, yeah, with Justin Timberlake.
I vaguely remember that.
That wasn't Justin Timberlake.
Yes, it was.
No,
vaguely.
Wasn't Limitless the one where he took the
very
pill?
Limitless was Bradley Cooper, I thought.
But the first one that they made, where it was like they had like a black light thing in their wrist.
No, that's not.
I can't remember
wasn't
the name,
Limitless. That was like Timer or some shit like that.
Yeah, it would be like that, but that would be like your whole life, money and shit like that. But if you spent more than what your life was, you'd die.
Yeah,
that would be crazy shit, though.
I don't think I'd like that kind of lifestyle.
No,
you have to pay for everything with minutes of your life.
Yeah, that would suck.
Well, yeah, I'm down to.
But I have to have the pill, not the numbers.
I don't have to eat today.
It'd be like a pill.
Do you think that any of the creators of those movies were on psychedelics?
I think
came up with it?
like Crank.
Hold on.
The movie Crank.
Does working in this like just regular working, does that add time to your minutes? Is that like the currency?
Yeah,
So
Like
if you
if
go
you
to
do-
work, you live for another day or whatever.
Yes.
they pay you in time. Yeah, it shows a sequence there. Everybody coming off of work, stopping by the little booth. They put their arm out and cha-ting, get time on your arm.
Well, wasn't that thing
I
all
think that'd
about
be a
too,
better
where
currency
they
than we have.
everything
Honestly.
was like costing them more than what they were actually getting paid, like certain people, or some guy just like got tired of it at one point. I don't know, like fuck this.
Well, the basis of the movie was basically, some people are getting charged a little bit extra, and there was sections to the different parts of the town, state for that matter. You had the levels. You had the lower class people in one section. You had higher class, middle class, so on and so forth, like that. And to get to the other sections, you had to pay with your time, which the basis was the fact this kid inherited from a dude that had almost unlimited time, and he just gave it to the kid. So the kid freaking went down to the different sections and stuff like this. Well, he could. I mean, he could took himself all the way to the top because that's how much time was given to him. And it was because his mother died because she ran out of time because they wouldn't give her enough. So it was a whole thing where he was trying to give back to the people, break down the barriers between high class, middle class, low class, and make sure that people actually live. Pretty much kill off the whole you die when your time's up kind of thing.
It's a cool premise, and honestly, I think it's a better form of currency.
It would be, except the fact that freaking, are you really willing to pay 24 hours of your life for a candy bar?
No.
Exactly.
Any form of currency doesn't seem to work. But you can also, I mean, barter systems seem to work to some degree, but then again, any form of currency seems to work to some degree, you know?
Yeah. Alright, well, back to our premise. We've gotten Mehoff's story. We've gotten Ford's story.
Get it right.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Mehoff the Gandhi.
So, I think that means I'm up now?
Yeah, go ahead.
You deserve.
Alright, so, yeah.
No, I want to tell one more.
No.
Fine.
You already told your favorite. Screw off.
Maybe later. You have to
So,
buy me dinner first, though.
yeah, I agree with Ford. That was a great trip. I was there for it. I was part of it. That was a great visual trip.
You were there?
My favorite trip, however,
TR was part of mine.
my favorite trip by
That's true.
far has been when I first experienced visuals. I had taken mushrooms before. I got a surreal feeling from them, where the world wasn't really real, but things around it were. So it's kind of surreal in that sense. And I also hate bathrooms because of it. Bathrooms seem too sterile to me. But
Got another guy peeking underneath your stall with a mirror.
no, it's the fact that
That's
when I'm
not-
taking a piss, the toilet grows to 2 times its size. And the floor grows
Loose
to
slip and
2
small
size
stalls?
in length.
Loose slip and small stalls.
What?
Loose slip and small stalls.
Yeah, okay.
Loose slip and small stalls.
No. Alright, but going to
You
the
said it
favorite.
got big.
Can I tell my story?
Go for it.
Well,
I guess.
alright, so I had gotten 3 quarters off of somebody, and I decided to take 2 of them at once. So I'm taking half a mushrooms, half an ounce of mushrooms, just straight.
2 quart. I didn't know this from 2 quart.
That
What-
news bears
that's-
from the start, my friend.
Oh no,
2 quarts.
oh no, it was great. It was fantastic. I wish I could live it again. But basically, everybody in the house, I was living with some roommates, everybody in the house was gone. And I got back with these mushrooms. Only one other person actually took them. So I saved a bag for him, and I took the rest, just straight. No orange juice, no peanut butter, no bread, no anything. I just took them straight.
That's
Wait.
2.5 pounds.
Out of an ounce. 2
2 quarters
fourths
of an ounce.
of an ounce.
Oh, 2 fourths. I thought you said 2
He
quarts.
took half an ounce.
I thought you
Two
said
quarters.
2 quarts. That's
Quarters.
2.5
Wait, what?
pounds.
What is with this orange cheese peanut butter shit?
Alright, so if you have mushrooms, a more pleasant way of eating them, if you don't like the mushroom flavor, is to put them in a sandwich with peanut butter.
It's not considered cheese.
It
It's
kills
dog.
the taste without affecting the hot.
I'm sorry, JJ.
It kills the taste without affecting the hot. That's what peanut butter does. Orange juice is actually supposed to be a blood-brain barrier affectant. So it hits you in the brain faster and longer, supposedly. But I just went for the whole straight up, just give me some mushrooms. Everybody in the house was gone,
Like,
so I went into my room. I was like, fuck it. I've got it was like a prison cell room, so like 9 by 10. It was a 9 by 10 room.
That was a really sad room.
It is. But I was able
storage
to
is only
fit
5'10".
I was able to fit a bed, a desk, and a computer in it. Off my computer, I played the entire first album of Kid Cudi. Great artist. Great weed artist.
Actually, I'd say Wiz Khalifa.
I hate Wiz Khalifa.
Love Wiz Khalifa.
Once he went,
Juicy J, Wiz Khalifa, and Taylor Gang. And then you got Rick Ross, and then you got 2 Chainz.
I know nothing of any of those.
alright,
I'm
well,
letting these two battle it out.
anyways, going back, I was listening to Kid Cudi, his first album, and I had it on Spotify, which when you listen to Spotify, it will play the unedited version, and if you're on the person's list instead of the album list, it'll go from unedited to edited. I happened to pick that without thinking about it, so I listened to the edited getting into my trip. And I started seeing mad visuals. I mean, I saw a giant fucking machine come out of my wall. Giant as shit. And it was awesome. But, as it went into the edited, shit started to change. Because every time you would hear a curse word, would be a weird, funky sound. It wasn't a normal bleep. It was like weird playing into the background. And that on psychedelics will fuck you up. Because I was starting to see shit just because they edited out a curse word. The weird shit that they would put in place of the word just started triggering fucking visuals. And it was awesome. The entire trip lasted probably about 3 hours because my roommates came home and fucked it up. But it was the best 3 hours of my life. I remember leaning across my bed going, this is better than sex.
Nothing's better than sex.
This trip was.
Actually, I gotta
I
agree with Mehoff on this one.
yeah, nothing's better than sex. I love pussy. Pussy is my thing in the boat, man.
I will say there is not much. There is very little that beats sex. But
no, nothing,
sometimes you have those things
there is
that beat
nothing in this world that beats a nice piece of pussy.
Tripping and getting pussy.
Wait, no.
I've done that with shrooms.
Mahal, I'm going to have to agree with you.
So,
But it's not better than sex.
See, I'll agree
Sex
with...
was,
it's better sex.
I'll agree with you, Mahal.
makes it better, but at the same time...
Hold on, we're talking too much.
When you see
Not
your girl,
everybody can talk at the same time.
when you see your girl and her face is melting, then nothing is better than sex, because that is the most scariest moment in your life, when you see your girlfriend's fucking face melting. And people walk into the room, and then all of a sudden you're just like jumping up, and you're like fucking tripping balls, and you jump out the window. That's what I did.
Alright, Ford, you speak.
I will agree with Mahoff on the whole, getting pussy, but unlike him, I prefer the whole pussy instead of a piece of the pussy. I mean, that's just wrong. Like, why would you want a piece of it, Mahoff? Why don't you want the whole thing?
A piece is the same thing as the whole thing. If you're getting a piece, that means a one night stand.
Not my brain. When I hear a piece of pussy, my brain goes to the literal intention. Like, a piece? Why would you just want
I'm
a
going
piece?
to cut this section out. Take that home. Thank you. You've been a great sport. Goodbye.
Is that what they mean in... No, sorry. I am not going to go there. That is...
Anybody out there knows
touchy of a
that
subject.
here's this podcast will know what a piece of pussy is. If you're not, you're fucking retarded. Alright? Everybody knows what a piece of pussy is. Everybody. Doesn't matter who.
I still hate Austin Power Pisses.
It's just...
Do what?
It's just
I hate
me.
Austin
I
Power
just
Piss. know
know what a piece of pussy is, and it's the whole pussy, because you're just banging the shit out of it until the fucking guts come out.
Alright. Well,
Continuing on.
Taking her threats away.
Yeah, back to your story there, JJ. I would have to say, I'd like to continue seeing what you
Ripping
have
the
to
threat.
say there.
Well, the entire trip was seeing a giant, it looked like a sun. Inside of, have you ever been to a theme park where they strap you into the machine, and when they spin it, it spins in 3 different ways?
The Sizzler?
I don't know if that's what it's called, but basically they strap you into a thing in the middle of this machine. One ring goes up and down, one ring goes sideways, one ring goes horizontal.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember what it's named. But yeah, no, I've never been in that.
But you know what it is.
I want to be in one of those.
I do too. But, so I saw this sun with rings revolving like that. Plus 4 additional rings that were rotating in different ways. I got so bugged with this, and it was so intense. I mean, it looked like I was looking into the edge of the universe, or the way the universe worked, and I was gonna die. I panicked real quick and went, I can't handle. So I flipped myself over on my bed, because I'm taking a trip on the bed. That's all I have in my room. Flip over, look at a different wall, and I see the entire universe laid out in front of me. All of the stars, all of the universes, or galaxies, sorry. All the galaxies, just a beautiful fucking plane of stars. And nothing could beat that. I mean, I was transported to a different world. I wasn't me. I was tripping in the dark to Kid Cudi. And I was transported out of reality into a fantastic world that I've always chased and always wish I could go back to. It was beautiful. I really do wish I could go back there.
That actually sounds really fun.
Alright, so, what about you, TR?
What about me? I'm not here. I swear.
Favorite or best
All right.
hallucinogenic trip?
Well, number one, I'll clear some slate here. When Mehoff and the good old barn dog had their little trip going with the others throughout the house. I actually was the one left out on this. I was not tripping on this one. I actually was given, I think, maybe 4 or 5 stems that did nothing. So everybody else
You
is
didn't
having
even get
the
a
fucking
body high off that?
not even. It was the last of the bad kind of shit. Like, hey, we're all happy here. Fucking have this.
Jackasses.
Well, no, they didn't mean to do shit like that, but it was basically freaking. I kept my mouth shut, let everybody do their shit.
Hell, even
And I
Graham
was
for me, Graham
last in the
powder
line
gave
kind
me
of
a
thing.
body high.
But
Wicked body high.
it was fun to watch everybody, especially me off here. Him and the good old barn dog. They were a trip amongst themselves.
I think you were tripping, you just didn't realize you were tripping.
No, I know the difference because I'm going to get into that.
There's a difference between visuals and tripping off of mushrooms.
Anyhow,
I'm just going to state that. It's a fact.
well, yes, I know. And I've done the body high thing. That was after this event, so I know the difference. But no, it was funny and fun for me due to the fact that I got to watch these guys pretty much talking to walls.
Babysitter style. I hate babysitter style.
Well, I had fun with it though.
I've had panic attacks with that, and I'll explain that one later.
Well, it's funner when you have coins in your pocket and you go, "Hey, dude, watch, wing," and throw it across the room.
Did you ever trap somebody in a box?
I didn't do that one, no.
Oh, I want to do that.
But my actual first experience taking shrooms and actually getting the experience out of it. Well, you two were there, JJ, Ford. You two were the ones.
It was so fun.
This was the trip that Ford had talked about earlier, being on the stump. He spent about 30% of the time on the stump, 70% of the time following me.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with 33.3 repeating percent. I prefer a third. Thank you very much. I mean, 30% is good, but a third is better. Just
Right.
stating.
33% of the time. I first took it, and I didn't even know what to expect. We each took what, an eighth.
You don't know how much me and Ford panicked on that one.
Well, I pop them, I chew them down. I don't get the whole peanut butter and orange juice thing. Well, then again, I like mushrooms, like mushroom burgers, mushroom.
It really is if you don't like it.
Yeah.
I like to taste the mushrooms.
I had a Reese's peanut butter cup, and it was filled with native mushrooms.
Oh, nice. Actually, that sounds
That
it would be good.
Yeah, it was good, but it was a little depressing because I got depressed. I thought everybody hated me, and I cried. It was the worst trip.
Are you saying
Boss.
Are you saying it might have been the peanut butter cup itself around the mushrooms that might have made it depressing? Like, oh,
No. I mean, the whole thing was good, but the high made me depressed.
That's upsetting.
Because
again,
I guess you get
you
different
have
trips
another
when you do things, and then it's like if you're not with a good group of people, you got to be with like a good group of people that would keep you on your toes and be more an energetic type of atmosphere than a depressing or quiet.
Yeah.
You know, because it brings the high to a bad high.
I do believe mushrooms
yes.
are a individual plus group experience. You can't do mushrooms alone because you will have a bad trip. You have a greater potentiality to have a bad trip if you're on your own. If you have a group of people, it is such a solo experience that you will experience your own thing, but you feed off of the group's energy. It is so much a solo group activity.
And then you don't have a bad trip, you get a good trip. And then you go back to your friend's house, and then everybody's like,
if you get off your phone,
yeah,
you wouldn't
Facebook
lose your
is
thought.
fucking me up right now. What was that again?
You go back to your friend's house,
After a shroom trip.
and then
Alright, lost thought. Continue, Tom.
Just had a brain fart.
TR.
I will get this boy trained one of these days.
One of these days.
Back to
Notice
back,
how you're the
back
only
to your
one I
trip
fuck up
where Ford myself spent 33% of the time on the stump, and then the other 67 or 66 point whatever percent on following TR.
Anyhow,
I was tripping and worried, so my apologies.
When you're at your friend's house, then you got a good trip, not a bad trip, because you got a good, very good experience with people, because then you can go back to your friend's house the next day and talk about it and then laugh about it at the same time, because you had a great experience with those group of people.
and yeah, that I actually, if I can complete this here, I believe I can agree completely with that. Basically, I started feeling the shrooms taking over.
The shit.
Yeah, basically.
It's a shit feeling. We can't deny it.
Well, all right. So I already had like 3-4 beers, ate the shrooms down on my other beer. I actually, and if anybody knows me, this is a rare event. I actually set my beer down and had to walk away from it because I stood up. I was like, all right, I gotta hit a bathroom. Done with this. I was feeling warm in the belly.
Always.
So I get up, go find my little piece of solitude.
Shitting hole.
I was trying to be nice about it, but alright.
It's a shitting hole.
I was crapping on a rock.
That's not a hole at all.
Hey, at least I made it sound nicer.
We were in the mountains, forest areas and stuff.
Camping like a true G.
Oh, hell yeah.
Be a crap rock instead of a shitting hole, I think. It's a crap rock. Turd boulder, if you will.
So I find my turd boulder, if you will.
Yeah, that was my favorite time. Just a minute.
Taking care of business, and the shrooms hit full force. Right as the pinnacle moment of finishing. At that moment, not only did I look around and see colors so much more amazing, because I was sitting here this whole time like, well, dude, nothing, no harm can come out of this. There's no problem. It's only drugs. You're good. Calming myself down because I didn't want to do the whole bad trip thing. So as I'm walking back to camp, colors were popping out of everywhere. And I got to tell you, yellow popped out of everything so much more bright and crisp and awesome that I was giggling the entire way back.
That sounds like me with my sticks.
Yeah.
Sticks.
And,
Nobody's going to understand that unless I explain it, but continue.
It was something more.
I made it back to the camp where everybody's hitting their own high. I walked in and just had nothing really to to like conversate or say. I just turned my head up, and it was the perfect part of the day because we had the sun coming down, the clouds formation was coming around, so that we had the gray, white, and bit of blue sky left. It looked like a kaleidoscope to me. I honestly remember my head was craned up in an awkward way, and I was just giggling at the sky.
I also remember during that period of time going, "Yo, TR, look at that!"
And as I look over,
You were pissed about it at first.
oh yeah, well, he disturbed me from looking at what I was looking at. Oh, damn it, what? I look over, oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Even cooler.
She sold a pretty uniform.
right?
The mythical pretty unicorn.
The clouds started making these weird ass shapes and coming down at me, and it looked like I could reach out and touch them. It was so awesome. The trip continues until nightfall, and the stars are all out and everything else, and we're down to pitch dark in the woods. And I'm roaming. This is what gets Ford and JJ concerned, because I'm roaming around everywhere. I have
And we didn't know how you'd react.
Yeah.
I have a full
wasn't
beer
sure.
in one hand, an unlit cigarette with the lighter in the other, with my phone playing Stephen Lynch.
Actually, my most worried point was me, G. Ames, and
B Rice.
B. Rice were all in a tent, and we were smoking on some good shit. And I hear the dog start barking like crazy. I was like, oh shit. He's never had a trip like this. I don't know how it's going to affect him. And the dog's barking. Find him! And I remember trying to find you, and I was trying to say TR, but my brain just went to the dog instead, and I was like, Rube! You were like, stop yelling at my dog. Okay, you're cool. Awesome. Back in the good trip mode.
I had one of my dogs following around the entire time because he's the only one I can trust off of a leash when we're in mountain areas and woods and stuff like that.
And the other one proved it.
Yeah. You cannot let her out of your sight for 1 second. The Ruger will stick by your side no matter what. He will run, check on everyone, and come right back. And that was my safety net, is because I had him with me constantly. And I'm wandering around the woods, staring at the stars in the sky, and just...
And the flashing lights.
Yeah, well, no, you guys had the flashing lights.
You had the little strobe, that's why you said you went off so far.
You guys had the one that...
no, that's the UFO. I'm talking about the whole flashing in the sky.
Oh, yeah, the
RD2
stars were fucking flashing.
Oh, yeah, I saw the flashing in
R2D2 came
south.
out.
Basically.
I saw it on both horizons.
Yeah, that was about the time that moving ball of light went across the sky. I think good ratio. 5 out of 6 of us up there saw it.
Yeah, I actually didn't.
We coined the term something off of that one.
Yeah, I don't know what we saw, but it was something. It was definitely something.
It was too. I was looking in a completely different direction because I had blues and purples and blinking lights and everything. It was just a sky full of stars. So I was just tripping out. I hear these guys all down in the camp yelling and screaming away. So I turn around and I start coming back, and I hear them start calling for me. So I come back to the camp. We come down there, and they're all talking about this, pretty much UFO. that apparently went from one part of the sky, came around to around where the tent was, and then took off.
It was over towards where you were actually, not over the tent.
I thought it just disappeared. Like it wasn't flashing. It didn't have any flashing red or blue lights like an
It also
airplane.
didn't have any sound.
Didn't have any sound. It didn't look like a shooting star because it moved way too slowly, and
It also didn't look like a flare because it didn't go
He
up
said
in
red
that
blue lights. That's cops.
elliptical orbit.
the only two things I can think of are UFO or somehow, because it was all the same mushrooms that we all took, somehow there was some sort of neural link that happened between 5 out of 6 of us, some undocumented phenomenon that may or may not occur when on the
Alright, real quick.
things of
Actually, hold
mushrooms and
on.
psilocybin.
I want to weigh in one thing. As I think about it, where the tent was set at, I think maybe due to the fact that we were all tripping, that up over the one part of the tent was the road. Road.
Yeah, but the road didn't lead straight up and across us.
No, but there's a possibility that a car passes, you see the lights from the car, and then because of the mushrooms, your eyes dart that light to up and around.
I didn't hear any sound though going on the road.
It was right above us.
The only
Just a guesstimation.
The only
All right.
sound that was happening that I remember was your phone playing Stephen Lynch. That was the only music.
I do remember G. Ames going, "Hey, look at the sky, guys!"
Yeah, that was the weirdest part because he was off probably a good.
He was the first
100
one to see it.
He was
and he yelled out.
He was the outlier in the group that saw it.
And he said,
actually.
"Look up in the sky at the northwest," and it's like, and he was a good distance away from us too. Like I had no fucking clue where he was at. So for him to say
he was talking on a phone away from the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and I wasn't even around the whole group.
So to say it was lights that we all saw in one position to see across the sky, I don't think so.
Well,
but anyways, we've got enough time for one more question.
That is true. We are running out of time here.
So I'm going to pose, what was your worst? Let's go with Mehoff.
Worst trip up.
My worst trip?
Hard to say.
I think it would be when I took that Reese's peanut butter cup with the mushrooms.
And that one was your worst one?
That was my worst because,
the depression thing.
The depression and making me cry and fucking. It just, I didn't have any fun with it, and then I sobered up kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand why that would be.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad one. But then again, he does cry all the time too.
Not all the time.
Well,
just in my recent relationship that I just going through a divorce with my wife. So.
Well, 90% of the time he cries.
All right. Well, Ford.
I haven't had a bad trip. The only thing is a bad section of one, but I've been able to kind of come to terms with it. It was just more along when I was coming down from it. I remember just kind of freaking out, and I don't know, my visual and auditory receptors weren't really syncing up. Like I would turn my head and it would take a bit for my eyes to catch up. I do remember that part, but all I really remember is just saying like, I was coming down and a part of me knew it. It was trying to fight to stay in that tripping state because I was enjoying it so much. So, I mean, that was the worst part of the trip was the coming down. But that was only probably I don't know, a ninth or a 10th of the trip experience.
Yeah.
In total. So.
But takes a true man to shed his tears than it is for a pussy to hold him in.
That's brilliant insight. My
That's just
worst
how
trip.
I feel.
It was just after the best trip that I had, the Kid Cudi trip. I had a girlfriend at the time, and
You notice how that's like the main lead of bad trips? There was a girlfriend involved.
I don't know. I think it was that I didn't realize what kind of reaction she would have. But I know, but it was my worst trip. So I had my girlfriend over at the time, and I was like, I pulled out a Kid Cudi line. I know you haven't tried this before, but I want you to try this with me. And she did. And I was trying to recreate the best trip that I had. I think that's where my fail point was because once you've had a trip, it's been a trip. You can't recreate it. It's always going to be different. So I was trying to recreate a trip so that she would have a great first trip. And I think I fucked it up by doing that, but she started getting really paranoid, and we had to leave the dark room, go out, put Avatar on, and she stepped out of the house. I think she started realizing what mushrooms do to you and started to control it, but I do remember at one point she came in talking about a pink elephant or a pink rhinoceros in the sky, and I was sitting on the couch trying to get the visuals off of Avatar, and just the fact that she got paranoid and I had to start focusing more on her and trying to curb her anti-enthusiasm, if you will, her fears and paranoia towards it, to try and cause a better trip for her, that I didn't have a trip. And I think that was the worst trip. The fact that I started tripping and then forced myself out of it to try and make sure somebody else had a great trip. Because mushrooms need to be celebrated all over. I feel they need to be celebrated all over. And if I can cause you to have a good trip, as opposed to me not having a trip, I'm going to give you a good trip every time.
And I do believe that shrooms are one of those things. It's not bad for you. It's not chemical. It's not man-made crap.
Very nature.
Exactly. It's natural. And a person like me, I am all about the whole natural thing. I don't like the chemical crap.
Yeah.
Everything chemical, stay the fuck away from me.
Or you mean like more pharmaceutically engineered, not like grown, like it is naturally
anything
occurring.
that did not come out of the ground naturally.
But
I'm talking when you come to the drug rain and everything.
Yeah, but they, marijuana and psilocybin is a chemical compound.
But
it
is
it's
naturally
occurring.
compound.
Yes, it's a naturally occurring chemical.
Whereas
compound,
meth,
but
coke,
it's not like,
whatever.
I said
yeah,
man-made.
yeah. Okay,
meth,
sorry,
coke,
I didn't
and
hear
everything
the
else.
Hey, I got something to say about this. Anything white is chemically based. Either you got put coke with baking soda, or you got meth with acetone. All that shit is chemically based. Marijuana is an herb. It grows out of the ground, and it's here for a reason. And that's why God put it on this earth.
And same
for
with
a reason.
mushrooms.
Same thing as shrooms as well. They do grow out of the ground. They are a fungi. It's, hey, what they say is about mushrooms. Invite him over. He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Right?
That line was thrown out at least once or twice on that camping trip. I remember.
I do believe.
Quite a few, I believe.
Yeah, it's
To wrap this up, I would like to
Hey,
thank
you
our
haven't told your
commenter.
worst experience.
What's that?
You haven't told your worst experience yet.
Because I don't have one. I'd like to thank our.
I'd say tripping without having a whole bunch of people trip without you tripping was your worst.
Well, like I said, that was still fun for me.
Because he was tripping.
Well, I wasn't tripping.
I think
he
he was
wasn't.
tripping.
No, I gotta fuck with the people that were tripping.
Yeah.
It was still fun for me.
Maybe because he was the
He
only
was-
person
he was
not
drunk.
tripping, the
He was
situation
drunk,
was tripping,
and he was having
so
fun.
he was just in a tripping
Right?
situation. But he was
All right.
Can't talk at the same time.
You were drunk.
Oh, more than likely.
From
When am
what
I not drunk?
understand, alcohol inhibits mushrooms, so don't drink after you've had any.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
because
hell
you
no.
puked like I did.
It
Well-
also affects your mental state.
I puked all over my shit. I passed out in front of the door in my bathroom.
It wasn't your bathroom.
It was my parents' bathroom, and my mom walks downstairs and she's like at 5 in the morning doing laundry, and she's like, "You're gonna clean that up, right?" I look at it and I'm like, "I'll get to it," and crawled over to my bed. And then I had to clean it up after I had a hangover. It was horrible.
We've all had those days.
I've had those.
That was the last time I puked.
I remember my last time being the last time I lost my weed for like a month and a half.
So anyways, as I was saying, I'd like to thank our commenter that found us on Facebook. Heather, I'm hoping I'm saying this right.
Sea tree.
Heather, Seatree?
Sea tree.
Looks like Setri to me.
She will complain on that.
Okay. Heather Seatree, thank you for your suggestion. I'm hoping we helped you out in the subject of mushrooms and other
Thank you
psychedelics.
for more than you know.
What's that?
I said thank you for more than you know. And I'm leaving it at that. She knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, actually, JJ and Heather know each other, so. Anyhow, I just wanted to thank her and say anybody else can find us, TRJJ at Facebook.
We're also on YouTube, Dual Thought or Drunk Thought.
Or Georgia, yes, of course.
We're on the same channel. It's run by us. So
Well, you're going to find that out anyway. If you're listening to this, it's on YouTube.
So please listen to us. Please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube.
Yes, definitely. You can also email us any comments, questions, concerns at dualthought@gmail.com.
How do you spell
That
it again?
is DEUL thought. Yes, it's misspelled, I know.
It's on purpose.
We are also on
Audacity.
not Audacity.
Archive.
Yes, that's right.
We're on Archive. Under Dual Thought, you will find our main channel. And under Drunk Thought, you will find our side channel.
And as always, please comment anything you'd like.
Like us, share us,
Let us know what you think.
and subscribe. I mean, we can't tell who likes this unless you subscribe.
Breathe.
I'm trying.
We would like to thank our guests today. We have Ford returning, of course.
Thank you for having me.
Always.
And we have my good friend Mehoff.
Good having me.
Shock
I was
me
always,
off.
I was always a pleasure
Meow.
to be here. And I hope my suggestions as well and things. I hope you guys understand what I was talking about as well.
I
You
think
can
we
find
understood.
you can find me on Facebook at Jack4. So
Alright, and this has been Dual Thought, where
Dueling out
And
the
this,
thoughts that come to our heads.
this is the last one. And you can find Ford, but I'm not telling you who I am. But if you want to know that much, If you're that crafty in finding me, you'll find me. And when you do, I'll probably applaud your effort. You know, like this is somebody who I'm wary of, but I'm gonna give him a chance. So
Actually,
I'm not.
90% of our listeners
No,
know
he
who
is.
Free Ford is.
I'm
Yeah,
not
so,
paranoid
yeah,
about anything. So
I mean that. You should have just left it at. You shouldn't have even told me that 90% of your listeners know who I am. Because you could have left it. I'd be all like, "Holy shit, people know me." Yeah, you kind of shot my confidence level attempt down.
It
Thanks.
does surprise him on a normal basis that people actually know.
All right. Well, any last statements?
I'm not paranoid about anything. So if you guys want to look me up on Facebook, you know where I'm at.
All right.
I'm paranoid as fuck.
You got more?
Well,
Not at all. I have no reason.
We obviously are not.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So this has been JJ and
TR.
dueling out the thoughts that come to our mind. Thank you for listening,
Please have a great night.
and good night.